Right, look, we are 2 minutes past two, certainly here in the wonderful United Kingdom, where our very special guest today, Guy Polio from OpenOcean, also stems from. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, GM, GA, GN, G, whatever suffix you want to throw at the end of that beautiful letter. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today, we have got a very wonderful guest, as I mentioned before, Guy Polio from OpenOcean. Guy, can you give us a quick introduction about yourself, who you are, what you do, and of course the project?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. And thank you very much to CertiK for also inviting us here today. So if anybody hasn't heard or isn't aware, OpenOcean is the widest reaching DEX aggregator in crypto. And by widest reaching, I mean we touch more corners of crypto than any other aggregator who are currently offering services similar to ours. So we've launched on 22 different chains, and we're now at, I think it's 285 plus liquidity sources spread out amongst those chains. And so our whole ethos, our whole idea is we want to democratize crypto trading for everywhere from institutions and wallets from large projects that we've integrated, along to just the individual everyday user. All of the products and the platform that we offer were built with user access in mind. So for our main swaps, we offer fee-free swaps. We don't charge anything for them. And we're not just a DEX aggregator. We've also rolled out other things such as our cross-chain swaps, which are up and running on 13 different chains. We've got a variety of providers we use for those. Our perpetual futures, as well as our pioneering decentralized limit orders. So there's a lot of stuff for us to sink our teeth into. But a quick introduction for myself. I sort of got involved with crypto in 2018, as a lot of people did, because it was everywhere on the news.
Guy, we can't hear you, man. You were on a roll. It was going brilliantly, actually. It was a wonderful introduction.
It suddenly went off.
Did you hear me now?
He's back.
Oh,
You got involved in 2018. It was on the news. Crack on.
2018, that was it. Yeah, 2018. It's all on the news. I come from a strictly traditional broadcasting background, and then just sort of rolled into it. Started an NFT project with a friend of mine, and sort of went from a different platform to, sort of moved around to different platforms. And I was very thankful that at the start of the summer last year, I come across OpenOcean, and I'm really lucky in that I sort of share the same values that OpenOcean sort of set out to try and push onto Web3 into the community, and that is to democratize trading, to open up the platform to as many traders and users as possible. And obviously to do that, it means we need pretty robust security. So thank you very much, CertiK. But yeah, it's been fantastic working for OpenOcean. The possibilities in Web3 at the moment are incredible, and it's kind of a breath of fresh air to be with a platform who has the ability to take steps where the market dictates. So I look forward to talking a little bit more about that as we progress.
Amazing, man. Thank you so much. That was one of the top introductions we've had. I appreciate it, Guy. This question is really, it goes to the roots of why. So why did you build OpenOcean? What inspired the creation of it? Were you just sick of jumping from chain to chain to chain to DEX to DEX to DEX, trying to find a semblance of good liquidity, or was it something more ethereal than that?
That's a really good question, actually. So, OpenOcean launched at the tail end of 2020, but the main idea for the platform was fostered back in 2017. It was actually late 2016 where the original idea was conceived, but things didn't start getting put into place by our co-founder until 2017. But the original idea of the platform was, let me paint a little picture of a landscape. Back then, we have lots of centralized exchanges. Uniswap was around. There wasn't very many people using it, and we had these sort of pockets of liquidity start springing up in the market. So let's say exchange A would have 4 different tokens, and the liquidity on the depth of the liquidity on those tokens is really, really good. But then we've got Exchange B that's got 30 tokens, maybe not necessarily as much liquidity. Now, trading between those 2 sets of isolated liquidity pools, especially back then, and actually even more so today, was really difficult. You get lots of high slippage. People don't get their price fills, or they can only fill up to like $500 before they start running into some insane fees. So that's where the main idea of a DEX aggregator came from. It's to facilitate those links between isolated pockets of liquidity. We roll that forward to today, and at the moment, we're able to support trading between V3 and V2 pools, because we know everyone's moving over to these new V3 pools. And so the possibilities with what we can do in terms of connecting projects together, connecting their liquidity together, is really endless from a sort of aggregator standpoint. So we're really lucky in that we're in a perfect position in the market to sort of either, jump on narratives that's either launch on a new chain where, our services would be needed, or necessarily focus on new products and stuff that's coming out. So like we were able to put a lot of resources recently into our new Ethereum staking dashboard. So yeah, mainly when OpenOcean was created, the idea of the platform was mainly to facilitate those trades. But then sort of as platforms progress and as years progress, it's sort of like a snake that's eating its own tail. It's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. So what we can actually offer to the market through, our 300 plus different partners that we've teamed up with is almost unparalleled. So I think we're in a really good position as a platform, and we started out with that idea to enhance and facilitate trading. We've just been able to keep taking it one step further each and every day.
Brilliant, man. That was a wonderful reasoning as to why you guys knocked this up. And as somebody who is, of course, very into the world of Web3 and into crypto, and has spent time myself jumping from DEX to DEX to DEX, it's beautiful to see products like this being built, because it just simplifies the user experience to an incredible extent. So, Guy, I have clicked around on your website. I have checked you guys out. I've read some of your blogs. I saw that you just launched on NIA in February, which is brilliant. Can you tell us a little bit more about the range of products you offer? I know that you mentioned you're not just a DEX aggregator, and if anybody heads over to their website on OpenOcean.finance, you will see that for yourselves as well.
Yeah, man, there's like I said, there's a lot of competition in this space. We have competitors who consistently push us to keep delivering new products and making our existing products better. But in terms of like other products we offer, so very early on, we rolled out limit orders to just a few chains, right? So these are decentralized limit orders. So when you want to trade with limit orders, which are, let's say for instance, ETH is trading at $2,000, and I've set I want to buy it at $1,800. So I go on the platform, I set I want to buy ETH at this price, or in our case, it would have to be wrapped ETH. But you say, I want to buy it at this price. And then what you do, you're not paying any gas. We then can hold that order for you for up to a year. And we use a hybrid purchasing model in order to fulfill that order. So you actually get a better price than what you probably intended. So what we can do is we put that out to tender via RFQ, and then what we do is we compare that in real time with our current quote via our AMM once the conditions have been met. So whichever quote that we actually receive for the limit orders comes up better, that's the quote that we roll forward to our users. So you can go on the platform, make as many limit orders as you want, all the way up to Bitcoin, back up to 69K if you want. They're really, really great, and we're in a process where we're rolling out limit orders chain by chain. They're not on all the chains we support yet, but we are getting there. It's just it's a lot harder to integrate limit orders on chain than people realize, but we're quite thankful in that we have a really good dev team to help us do that. So that was to sort of accompany our main sort of swaps, and then to back that up, as a lot of users are requesting, we actually passed this via DAO proposal. we launched our perpetual futures, which are really, really great. They're actually our only product which isn't free to use. You do have to pay some fees to use that for using the liquidity. But, we give all of our community a 25% discount through using our tokens. So if you want to trade decentralized perps, you can do all of that on OpenOcean. We rolled out our cross-chain swaps, which are fantastic. Many times you want to take assets cross-chain, so you have to sit around and, find a place to swap or find the right avenue to swap on and hope you're not going to get hit by too many fees. And so, cross-chain swaps are something that we're pushing and we're consistently growing. We've got 4 different partners that we've integrated now for them. And most recently, we launched our Ethereum liquid staking aggregator. So it lets you have a whole entire view of the liquid staking environment, not only on Ethereum, but on Optimism and Arbitrum as well. It lets you compare all the rates from the top providers. It lets you see all the rewards broken down by individual type. And there's another cheeky column that we actually included, which lets you know the edge you're going to get through buying through us than actually just buying off the open market. Because we're quite thankful in that we have for instance, like the direct staking pools for the Liquid ETH integrated. We can actually trade into them directly. So, we can eke out a few extra rewards and stuff through going through OpenOcean. So that's something we're really, really excited about. We've just launched it. Chapella's just come onto the market. Everyone's talking about it. So, we're currently putting out quite a lot of content about our Ethereum staking aggregator because obviously, for a lot of people, the future of DeFi is ETH and all the L2s that are built on top of ETH. So, from our perspective, we want to be there to support it. And we want to, carrying on being able to offer more and more products basically to support the whole entire liquid staking narrative basically.
Brilliant, man. 100%. Everybody is indeed talking about ETH. The withdrawers are withdrawing and the depositors are depositing. It is a beautiful day when that went live without a hitch. So I'm checking out your website, Guy. I know that you have DAO staking and you have an entire governance protocol built around OpenOcean and OpenOcean's treasury management that does, of course, include token weighted voting with the OOE token, which is your native token. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? What its utility is? Is it exclusively for governance? Does it unlock any other features within the OpenOcean ecosystem?
Yeah, so our main token OOE is it's a multi-chain token. So we launched it on many different chains. And we're currently, as far as I'm aware, we're currently still running our liquidity mining incentives on KuCoin through one of our partners called Hummingbot. So you can plug into the Hummingbot OpenOcean connector, pre-download strategies, and set off to do the liquidity mining. But as far as the main token is concerned, it's the sort of the core features of our DAO. So we do require that for anyone who wants to make a DAO proposal, they don't necessarily need to hold our token. But the process in order to enact change and governance on the platform is slightly longer. To those who do hold our token and who commit to locking it up in the DAO, not only can they create and make proposals as much as they want. I think we've just had a new proposal come through this morning, but also that people by actively taking part in the governance, they can earn token rewards on top of that as well as rebates on gas fees. We're actually giving each of our DAO users rebates on their gas fees. So, if you're not trading on these L2s that have kind of expensive gas, you can get a portion of that back as fees for you to use. But I mean, in other terms for OOE on our platform, we wanted to introduce more benefits to our OOE holders. So, mainly we wanted to look at adapting the platform to see how we could benefit those holders. So like the 25% discount for perps fees through using the OOE token. But as well, we've launched many different farming pools and liquidity pools where you can go and stake. I think at the moment the highest returns are on Ethereum, but that can all be accessed through the website. Yeah, there's so much that we actually have planned for OOE and for the token. It's just a matter of, from our perspective, making sure that everything we do is as sustainable as we can be. We don't want to say host a new incentive to come and use the platform if we're just paying out needless tokens, because that just puts more sell pressure on. So our idea for the token long term is to see how we can position ourselves, mainly for the rest of this year and looking into 2024, as to how we can make OpenOcean community members and token holders feel happy, safe and assured in their long-term hold. And I think by sort of looking at how we can balance those rewards on the platform with demand, I think we're sort of taking the right steps. I think recently we've introduced several caps, but also made it easier for individual wallets to earn rebates on gas fees. So that's all part of our incentives to looking at keeping people coming back to OpenOcean and keeping people using the platform. But we do actively encourage every single community member to not only get involved with the DAO, but also we say that many heads are better than one, right? So it doesn't make sense for a few people to have an idea of where a platform and where necessarily its token should go. So that's why we do open it up to the community as much as possible. We like to act and move forward on those community proposals. I think the very first one we actually passed was about getting perps onto OpenOcean. It's one of those steps that we show that we are listening, we are here to build, and we are here for the future.
Yeah, and the pubs are there now, right? So
yeah, absolutely. Jump in, go and get your DGen longs on. We got up to 25x available. And you get discounts, because I know a lot of people like trading decentralized perps, and not to mention any other names, but a lot of other platforms do charge quite a lot of fees. So whilst they're not using that centralized platform, we just hope to sort of mimic that experience you would get on it, but in a decentralized manner, in a decentralized way.
Brilliant, man. That's amazing. We are about 20 minutes through. That is a third through. So, Guy, I like to give our guests an opportunity 2 or 3 times throughout our AMAs to plug your project. So what website do people need to go if they want to access the DApp? Where do they go to follow you on Twitter? How do they join the community? How do they get involved? Where can they learn more about OpenOcean?
Yeah, absolutely. So our main website is OpenOcean, all one word, .finance. And you can find us on, I think we're on Twitter, we're on Medium, we're on CoinMarketCap, we're on Discord, we're on Slack as well. We've got a newsletter, we're on YouTube. So there's so many places, to stay up to date with all the projects, with all the updates, that we're bringing to the project and the platform. And I would say that absolutely get involved with Discord and Telegram, because that's mainly where we post the majority of our updates. And if you're a reader, if you like divulging through all the information that we put out, we post lots of articles, not only on our Medium, but on CoinMarketCap as well. All you have to do is go onto CoinMarketCap, type in the OOE ticker, you'll find our page and all the informational articles that we've put out, not only around the Chapella upgrade, but around market sentiment, information about trading strategies, stable coins, you name it. We've probably written about it at some point.
Brilliant, man. Look, that's what it's all about, right? We're going to educate the masses.
That is it. It's all about education.
100%, man. And then people will realize what they're missing out on by not using OpenOcean. Look, thank you so much for the plug. I appreciate it. You guys heard it here first. OpenOcean, one word, .finance. And you can find all the links to all of the wonderful resources the team have produced over on there as well. So I was checking out your DApp. I was playing around. I see that you guys offer an OpenOcean widget. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, Guy? What is it? How does it work?
Yeah, absolutely. So we offer our swaps completely fee free, and that's the same for our builders tools as well. So we have a comprehensive API and SDK, and we also have a really easy to use and integratable widget. I'll start with the widget. It's really good for builders, people who are looking at spinning up new platforms, because it allows you to, within a few hours, have access to all of OpenOcean's liquidity in just a few clicks. The widget can be fully customized. It can be set as a revenue generator for a new platform. So you can, if you choose to, set a revenue generation amount. You can also be selective of which pools it trades to, or you can leave it open. It trades, amongst all of our index liquidity sources. And the same goes for our API SDK, completely free to use, extremely powerful. I think we're on V3 of our API right now. I think we're working on V4. It allows you, you can call up transactions, you can you can do wallets, you can do exchange queries, you can do so much with it. It's like a Swiss Army knife basically for builders. So I mean, our most two recent widget integrations went live with Sun Finance on Optimism and Buffer on Arbitrum. They're really, really powerful. We've had great feedback from the platforms who have integrated it. With our API SDK, it's fairly straightforward to get set up, but we can also offer a lot of back-end help from our side as well. And again, that is completely free. The only thing that we actually ask for in terms of commitments from the other side is just to call us out on social media, let people know, how they've been enjoying it, how they've been using it, and how it can be used to get those new platforms up and running like really, really quickly. Or, as a good boon to an existing platforms. You won't believe how many projects I click onto. It just says buy our token, and all it does is link with Uniswap. And I'm like, no, you guys need a swap feature on your own page. You need to be earning from it as well if you want to. And that's basically what we're here to do. We're here to help facilitate building on other platforms. And for us, I think it's just important that we get more and more people trading. We get more and more people plugged into trading on aggregators. And we basically make everyone a little bit more platform agnostic. But our hope is to eventually win people back round to trading on somewhere familiar like OpenOcean, and that's kind of why we started offering those tools in the first place.
Amazing. Okay, so I've got another question for you, Guy. That's a bit of a curveball. So you mentioned, I feel like a lot of the products that you've talked about, you mentioned it's either fee free or it's extremely low fees. How do you guys generate revenue?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned on the widget integrations, we do actually, the widget is the only one that we put it on. We do have if you want to charge fees, we do have a 1% fee that comes off of that. We're quite thankful in that we have a close relationship with Hummingbot. So we are, OpenOcean is one of the very few platforms that you can actually go and connect up to. The Hummingbot is let me just explain. Hummingbot is a decentralized platform where you can build trading bots and trading strategies. But we're also quite thankful to have been around in this space for quite a while. We have a really sort of wide-reaching web of partners. And as we have several institutional partners who plug into and use OpenOcean, we're able to generate fees from that as well. And there's also the mindset of like positive slippage. So that's where let's say a trade necessarily might come in at a better rate than advertised. What we can do is we can pass on some of that better rate to the end users, and we can take a small bit of that and basically make sure that we can continue to offer that again in the future. So mainly to use OpenOcean and to use all the tools, we are fee free. But what we do charge fees on is for things like our perps. We charge a very small fee for using the cross-chain swaps, but again, you have to be very delicate with these, especially like on the cross-chain swaps, right? Because there's no point going, oh yeah, we're going to put a blanket, 20 cents fee on all transactions, or all transactions that goes through cross-chain swaps. There's no point in doing that because we won't actually be competitive. So it's almost like a sort of case by case basis. And our unique trading algorithm that we've got, which is original, it's in-house, it's ours. with that, we can compare the different offers, especially things with like cross-chain in real time. So we can always offer a competitive price while still making sure that we can keep the platform sustainable.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So it's multiple streams, right?
Yeah, it's not just like one thing where we're going, hey, pay us this and this is what keeps us afloat. It's almost like taking tiny little bits from multiple different streams, but then we've also got our institutional partners who rely on the service and the support that we can give them. So for things like, custom call rates are like for the APIs and stuff. So again, yeah, with those big partners and with those big individuals who we are connected with, we can sort of create a sort of ideal partnership, what would look like for them, so we can customize that. And that's the same for the API, SDK, the widget. If in certain circumstances a huge platform or a certain someone we haven't worked with wants to use it for something than we originally envisioned, we can tailor make that or look at how we can support that for them. So that's it's not really cookie cutter. That's more unique custom offerings that we do.
Something that's a little bit more bespoke.
Yeah, but I mean, for like the individual person, for trades, for cross-chain swaps and everything, the value that you're going to get is also included for the main swaps. The value that you're going to get is there. What I would encourage everyone to do, I don't know if you heard of it, DeFi Llama has a swap aggregator. If you want to do a swap, plug it into there and you can see how we compete to the other big competitors. And I think you'll find that we actually still come out on top for a lot of trades. And I will also very quickly plug that MetaMask integrated us recently without us even knowing. We sent them all the information at the tail end of 22, and then suddenly one day last week we start getting so much traffic start routing through us. And MetaMask were like, yeah, we just opened you up in our on our in-wallet swaps and stuff. So we're like, whoa. So
hey, look, what a nice surprise.
I know, right? We haven't really talked about that yet, so that's a little bit of bonus alpha.
Yeah. Damn, man. I was going to ask for alpha as well, but it looks like we got it preemptively. Folks.
Yeah, right. Exciting times, man. Everyone's waiting to see what airdrop, if any, MetaMask does. So
yes, I have a lot of friends who have spent an ungodly amount in MetaMask swap fees actually in the moment. Okay, guy, brilliant, man. So MetaMask, you recently launched on Near. Can you tell us a little bit more about the most recent developments that you guys have pushed live? Or if you really, really want to, and you want to make some DGen smile today, feel free to drop as much alpha as you would like to.
Okay. All right. Okay. In tackling the alpha thing, I would say at the moment we're speaking with quite a few big wallets in order to I have to be very careful how I choose my words and to see how we can get OpenOcean into as many hands as possible. And I would also say that, like we announced this morning, we're making some slight modifications to our gas rebates because we're actually sort of, looking at. I sort of mentioned it earlier in Ghost Words. We're looking at how we can support and grow OOE token price and holdership long term. So that's something that we're really focusing on right now. But in regards to recent releases, I think we're all really still excited about the Ethereum staking aggregator. We've got some more interviews to release as well. So that's really exciting. And in terms, actually, I just want to touch on this since I didn't mention it earlier. In regards to security. Because I know that I think it was SushiSwap recently who had the big, there was like a wallet permissions event that happened and someone got drained a whole bunch of funds. So we actually quietly rolled this out at the start of the year. We didn't really talk about it too much, but we do have a revoke tool that's built right into OpenOcean. So just on our main swap interface, when you see the charts on the left, you see the swap on the right, just below the swap window, there's a little shield. You can click on that and you can see all the open permissions for your wallet and you can go and revoke those one by one. So you're not going to have, you can rest assured knowing that you haven't got any open permissions for a website in case anything happens and your tokens get spent without you knowing about it. In terms of the platform, at the minute we still have under wraps. We have talked about it before. We still have our NFT aggregator that we're working on, which will let you browse entire collections, go from any token on any chain into buying an NFT. I think a couple of our competitors beat us to the chase, so we had to sort of take a step back and see how we could make our NFT aggregator unique and different. We've got a few extra things we're building in at the moment. I can't really talk about those, mostly because they might get a jump on us, so I need to keep that under wraps. But plenty to be excited about. And I would actively encourage anyone who hasn't tried a DEX aggregator before, go onto the site, load up a quote, and then load up either a competitor's site or load up, say, the main DEX for a competitor's website, and just have a check it out. And yeah, we're going to be launching on ZK Sync soon, so watch out for that.
Brilliant, man. Hey, look, is there anywhere in the world of Web3 that OpenOcean is not going to touch? I don't think so.
At the moment, I don't know. Yes, I think there is. I don't think the only thing we're not going to support is Monero. Apart from that, everything is on the table.
Okay, that's understandable. Look, I just want to give a quick shout out. OpenOcean, if you head to CertiK.com and you search for them, you'll see that they have a remarkably high security score. They're in the top 10%, is 93.44 out of 100. In fact, that's the top 5%. So correct myself there. That's a brilliant security score. And if you read their audit that they got back in late 2021, you will see that there was only 4 informational, I don't want to call them errors, but 4 informational suggestions, which is the least severe of all suggestions. It's often to do with coding style and things like that. And, I don't want to get into the tabs or spaces debate, but it's brilliant. It's phenomenal. So big props to you guys there. You've done a wonderful job.
I'll make a quick comment on that really quickly. When we started, we actually, on our dev team, we have some of the original engineers who helped create Binance, as well as some, I think we have 2 engineers from the original BNB creation team on board. So, we're swinging with the big wigs in terms of our developers.
Look, it doesn't really get much better than that, right? Like, you had like Vitalik or something was on there, and he was coding it for you. Maybe that's the next step up. But that sounds absolutely brilliant, man. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, I can almost feel the DGen salivating around me in my little office booth in northern England, and they want to know more about perpetual futures on OpenOcean. So can you dive a little bit more into that? Tell us what it's all about. How can people use it? Why OpenOcean is the best place to do it in a decentralized manner? Yeah,
so with the perps, we really wanted to take that experience of trading on a centralized exchange. So where you load up your token pair, you get your chart on the left-hand side. You've got all those indicators that you're used to. We wanted to mimic that experience as closely as possible. To provide that in a decentralized way. But obviously, with other platforms and with, provisioning the liquidity use, you do have to pay a fee for that. And we've tried to make that as absolutely low as possible. And so we do actually have our OOE token on Arbitrum, this is where we host our perpetual futures. And one of the main benefits was for this is, as our perps were actually started as a community-based proposition in the DAO, it meant that we were able to be flexible as to where our community wanted, because the perps isn't completely in-house. What we do is we co-host the liquidity with a platform called Aboard, and that was part of the original proposal. So when you're trading on our thing, you're trading with actually 2 entire platforms worth of liquidity. Now, for us, obviously, it's a little bit of a, can we trust this and everything? So we had to make sure that whoever we partner with, again, has those rock solid security audits. But you can go on. I can't remember the entire token count off the top of my head, but I know there's over 30 different tokens to trade from at really good liquid depth as well. Because what we can do is we can actually call on those integrated liquidity pools and the agreements that we've already got set up as a platform. In order to facilitate that. And again, you can, we don't have 100x, you can go up to 25x degen leverage. So go on there, have.
I think your microphone is off again.
Guy, you were just breaking everyone's hearts and telling them it's only 25x. Which is sufficient, by the way, guys. Use caution when using leverage. God damn.
I was going to say, please do use caution when you're doing leverage. But yeah, it's 25x at the moment. Maybe we get a new proposal to expand that into the future. We go up to 100x, but we'd have to look at fee adjustments then as well. At the moment, I think one of our most requested features has been introducing a trailing stop. At the moment, that we have stop limits, markets, and limit order types. So definitely plenty to get your teeth sunk into on there. Yeah, it's exciting. I am not a futures trader anymore. I was back in the day, but yeah, I've heard overwhelmingly positive things from our community members, who want to degen on some futures. But I would recommend anyone as well, if you're not experienced, to keep the leverage low to begin with, up to between 3 and 5x, and just take it step by step, take it gradual. But again, you can jump into the OpenOcean Telegram, the Discord, if you want to ask our advice on stuff, or we're not going to tell you which tokens to long or which to short, but we can sort of push you in the right direction as to how to best set that up for you, so you can feel confident knowing that the decision you've made, the long, the short, whichever trade that you're taking, is the right one for you, and hopefully you can make a few dollars off it as well.
Yes, fingers crossed, guys, fingers crossed. But I would implore everyone to, truly understand what they're doing before they dive into the world of futures. I have had friends, I have had acquaintances and colleagues who have been pretty badly burnt. But if you use them the right way, which I'm sure everybody listening does and will, then they absolutely can be a wonderful tool for trading. But I'm not a professional trader, so everything that comes out of my mouth could be a load of rubbish. Do your own research, as you know. Guy, we've got a few more questions for you, man, and then we're going to get into the final question, which is my favorite question, but I won't spoil it just yet. You've mentioned security a lot, but not just the security of OpenOcean, but the security of the partners that you work with as well. So how big of an emphasis does the OpenOcean team put on security? I know we just sung your praises with the wonderful Skynet score that you guys have. So clearly, quite a large emphasis.
Yeah, we're, as a platform, I think, especially when you're operating in the nature that we do. So, we have so many contracts, so many different platforms that we're actively rooted in and connected with. I'll approach this first from a community aspect. With every single platform that we integrate, we grow our web of contacts in this space. So I mentioned earlier, 300 plus was the number, and that's how many different threads and ongoing conversations that we have with these different platforms. So if there's a new event happening, or we maybe need to take steps to stop people trading a token on the platform because of a security breach that's happened, we rely on those network of partners and everything for information flows. And actually, I think a lot of people will find that we can move quicker in this space, with our decentralized entities, a lot quicker than centralized entities can. So we can react to things a lot more. But yes, as a platform, we have multiple audits, and we're very happy. And we put this on the front page of the site that CertiK is one of our main audit providers. And again, that security, that sort of reliance and knowing our security is intact extends to our partners as well. So before we work with a platform and before we integrate them, we do require that there are audits in place. And again, we need to go through and we need to verify those audits. And I think actually, mentioning it now, we haven't got into it yet, but there is potential scope for looking at AI smart contract auditing in addition to ours as well, just for that extra layer of security. That's something we're just looking into, but nothing's confirmed yet. But yes, as a platform, we do take security very seriously. That's why we actually built out that revoke tool that I mentioned a couple questions back. You can never ever be too safe in this industry at all. So from everything we do, to every single partner, to every new update that we roll out to the site, we make sure it's we make sure that every new feature that we release is audited. And it is checked regularly. So for instance, our cross-chain swaps, we utilize 4 different partners for the technical bridging in the middle. So we call on layer 0 pools, we call on MPC computation, we call on state guardian networks. And as you know, a lot of work goes into making sure that each of those technologies that we use for that bridging process has up-to-date audits, has up-to-date security checks on them. And again, so like our cross-chain swap is pretty much checked every single month. In addition with our partners as well. So yeah, if you're wanting to exist in this decentralized world, security is something that you cannot take seriously enough. We've all seen exchanges, bridges, wallets, what have you, all been hacked and funds drained and stuff. So I would personally, I would convince everybody to just do some due diligence on their own security as well, but also make sure if you're connecting to any new site, double check the URL. If you're in any doubt as well, you can always, when interacting with a new platform, you can always do a small transaction just to check. But yes, I would say that we take security seriously, but also, we take educating our community about the security just as serious as well.
Yes, absolutely. No amount of audits, no amount of top-end security engineers can stop an attack if you go to a fake website and type your seed phrase in. Guys, never, ever, 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 ever do that. The amount of people I speak to who've done that is wild.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad you're educating people on it, Guy. We absolutely need more people in the world of Web3 like yourself and your team. So thank you so much on behalf of myself and, of course, the audience and the wider Web3 space. So moving on to a bit of a broader question, not necessarily related too much to OpenOcean, but by all means, shill away. Where do you see the world of Web3 in 5 years' time?
Oh wow, that's a really big question. Okay, I'm going to try and not talk for way too long because I could easily speak for an hour on this. So I first and foremost think that we're going to see way more creative uses for digital currencies in the next few years. And we're talking about severe impacts, not to just like individuals' everyday lives, but for people in who are running personal businesses, for small businesses, and for places like the third and second world countries. It's I'm thinking the contracts, like smart contracts especially. I don't know if this is my idealized view of it, but we can use smart contracts in society to enter agreements without involving numerous third parties, and think about the amount of work not only in government and in local things like law enforcement and health services and stuff, the amount of paperwork and things, stuff that we can clear from people's desks and from whatever they're doing in the immediate future, I think is great. We don't have to involve small claims courts and stuff. We can get litigation, lawsuits, all this kind of thing, all done with smart contracts. And you think the extra time that we have as humans and it would be great. Web3, I think, is just gonna slowly grow in adoption over the next 5, however many years. But I think there's definitely a few more hurdles before a lot of people dip their toes in. We've already seen a lot of institutions get involved with crypto. And I think, especially now that liquid staking is on the table, there's a few more institutions willing to get involved and dip their toes in. But obviously, because obviously they needed that backdoor of being able to withdraw the funds, which now they can. I think it's just the regulatory frame set that we need to see adapt until institutional adoption, like, sort of absolutely skyrockets. But in terms of what Web3 is gonna do over the next 5 years, I think it's gonna change a lot of stuff about how we use and interact with our computers. So for everything from decentralized file storage to like handling all of your aspects of personal finance through Web3 wallets. And I think especially in the UK, although I'm maybe not entirely convinced by our Prime Minister's campaign for the digital British pound, I think that in some ways it is good because it might encourage other countries to start looking at how they can adopt crypto in some form into their economy, and it just sort of helps that narrative of it all become a bit more mainstream. So I think the future is kind of bright, but again, I've got that little voice in the back of my head telling me that there are bad actors who consistently want to see all that we've created come to an end. So I think from all of our perspectives, we just need to cherish and nurture Web3 as much as we can. I think with a lot of education can polarize people. So it's all about doing, like, sort of making that introduction as frictionless as possible, I would say. And just to bring it back to OpenOcean, we're trying to adapt the platform to be the sort of crypto Swiss Army knife of everything that you need in Web3. So we're currently working on things for individual personal wealth management. We're trying to make OpenOcean a one-stop shop for everything you need to do in DeFi, whether that's bridging to other chains, whether that's sweeping the floor of an NFT collection, or I don't know, seeing which loans that you can get, like, based on your portfolio and what you hold. That we're trying to sort of pivot the platform to be this all-encompassing. I just need to go to OpenOcean if I want to do X. We can't ship it overnight. It does take time, but that's what we're building towards at the moment. So yes, we do have those other little vertical integration things, but it's also about pushing it out onto the horizontal scale for us. But yeah, as a platform, our focus is always been on our community. It's always been to grow as much as we can. And our main focus is security and sustainability. We need the platform to be secure and safe for all of our users, but we also need to be sustainable. I think sustainability is the one big factor that everybody needs to rely on. And I think at the tail end of last year and into the start of this year, before we started seeing this sort of semi-bull market reemergence, that was a big focus of a lot of platforms. So yeah, big points on sustainability. But I mean, yeah, in the broader picture, I'm really excited to see where Web3 goes. I think the potential for what people can build on it is absolutely amazing. And I'm really looking forward to actually seeing how AI and Web3 sort of mix together for the next 5 years. Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm more than happy to welcome our AI overlords. So.
Oh, 100%, man. I've started to say thank you to ChatGPT just in case.
Yeah, I'm just getting in their good books now. That's all.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Better safe than sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. Pledge your allegiance now. It's fine.
100,000%. 100,000. We got nothing to lose, guys, by doing it. So go for it. Guy, I have a favor to ask of you. If you head to the stage live chat channel in Discord, wonderful people of the CertiK community will have thrown some questions in there. If you can pick your favorite one, let us know what it is. Let us know who sent it, and go about answering it. That would be absolutely wonderful.
Let's have a look. Oh wow, there are actually quite a lot of questions in here. Okay, without what's the offline wallet? Oh wow. Oh, I wish I could pick multiple. Secure. I'm just. What are the most common types of? Sorry about this. I'm just. You guys have been really good with the questions. Jeez. They're really dead. It's not just like it's not someone just go. It's not someone going when Binance or like when this. Do you know, they're actually there's. I'm about to properly read all these questions. Really good.
When Moon.
Okay, right. So I found one. dgen_HQ says, how does OpenOcean's proprietary technology, such as its discovery and routing algorithms, help users find the best price with low slippage and fast settlement? What kind of machine learning techniques are used to optimize the routes? Okay, so that's a really, really good question. So the underlying technology and the algorithm that we have that underpins all of our swaps is the OpenOcean algorithm, and this is something that is unique. It's in-house. It's consistently developing, so we're not on like a V3, V4 schedule. And what the algorithm does is in real time, it will. So let's say I want to swap 1 ETH to USDC, right? Actually, that's maybe not a good example because that'll be a really common one. Let's say I want to swap. Let's say I want to swap 1,000 of this unknown platform's tokens into USDC. So we have them indexed on the OpenOcean swap interface. We have their LP pools indexed. So someone loads up the transaction. Let's say the total value is $10,000, for example. What we'll do is we'll then synthesize that transaction running through a singular LP pool where that token resides. So let's say we're going to get 0.7% slippage on that trade. Okay, fantastic. We know there's another LP pool where that token is. Let's take that $10,000 transaction and break it down into two $5,000 swaps. And then what we do is we see what slippage we get by routing those two $5,000 swaps, right? So we can go, okay, we're going to get 0.6%. What if we take that one step further and we break that down into four $2,500 swaps, or let's say one swap at 6,000 and then the other four at 1,000, and we're actually getting a slippage of 0.4%, and that's great. And so what we do is we can then execute it at the lowest possible slippage rate, or at the lowest possible price to the end user. So whenever you type in a trade, or whenever you plug in a trade, the algorithm is consistently in the background, and you'll see it with the little arrow when it's refreshing the price quotes. It's consistently searching for the best price for that trade. And what it will do is it will compare the gas price of maybe breaking down the trade into a certain amount of smaller ones, as opposed to just brute forcing it through, like a lot of competitors and other platforms do. And so by using this technology in order to sort of break them down and route it through different pools, we're not only got LP pools index, but we've got staking pools index as well. So we can interact with those staking pools directly to get better results. And so all of this information is sort of fed back to us, and we can then use that on the fly to generate the best possible price for the user. And again, this with our routing algorithm, that's something that we've introduced to, I think, out of the 22 chains that we support, we have the routing running on 19 or 20 of those 22 chains. We do obviously have some quieter, less populated chains that we run that on as well. But that's also for the mindset of users to go, I've been using OpenOcean on Avalanche this whole entire time. I now want to move to Carver, and users can still get that same experience on Carver, for example, by using that routing algorithm. So that's something, it's completely in-house, it's unique. But again, it's something that we also offer via integration to the API and SDK partners, as well as the people who use the widget as well. So that's all sort of falls underneath that umbrella. It's a really, really good question.
That is a good question and an even better answer. Guy, we have 4 minutes left. the stage is all yours to talk about absolutely anything you want in the world. You can talk about the best meditation app, the best type of green tea, how you exercise, how you sleep. You can tell us about your dogs, your cats, your budgies, your pigeons. You can tell us about your rattlesnake collection. You can shill OpenOcean one last time if you want. You can talk about anything in the world. You got 3 minutes. Take it away.
Okay, I'll leave you guys with. That's a really good point to let me end with. I'll leave you guys with an anecdote that's quite funny. When I was getting started in crypto, I was lucky enough that with the NFT project that we made, to fly out to Miami to attend Decentralized. And I think one of the highlights of my whole entire crypto journey was me as a sort of very English Brit. Quite drunk after coming out of a crypto party at about 3 o'clock in the morning, or it's like 2:30 in the morning. Met up with some Korean dudes who are having a smoke outside the venue, and we all thought it would be a great idea to go and walk through the Wendy's drive-through. So me, 4 other Korean blokes who don't speak very much English, trying to walk through the drive-through where they're like, really sorry, you got to be in a car. And I just, I put on my best English accent and go, please, sir, we're very hungry. And we're quite lucky in that we all got fed. So I was sat on a pavement in Miami at 3 o'clock in the morning outside of Wendy's next to a venue with 4 Korean blokes who all gave me their business cards. And then we actually ended up integrating their decks after all. Eventually, so because I went out there with the NFT project, we stayed in contact, and down the line we actually ended up integrating them. So fun little crypto anecdote.
Wow.
Always take opportunities that are presented to you.
Yes, without a doubt. You heard it here first, folks. You can get business opportunities in a Wendy's drive-through at 3 a.m. It just works, right? These are different ways of operating, but the results are the same, and I'm sure it's a hell of a lot more fun as well. Guy, thank you so much. You've been an incredible guest, one of my favorites so far. No shade on anybody else we've had, but you've been brilliant. If you want to learn more about OpenOcean, you can head to openocean.finance. Don't forget to give them a follow on Twitter. Give them a lot of love. Use the DApp if you want to use the DApp. Be careful with leverage, people, and don't forget you can check their security score, you can read their audit, and you can stay up to date with all of the latest goings on in the world of security and Web3 over on CertiK.com. Guy, thank you so much, and a huge thank you to the audience as well. We couldn't do it without you. I appreciate it.